Candace Owens comes out with allegations against Bill Ackman and Seth Dillon in an explosive video. Is this the one, Rob?
Yeah, so this is the first part where she talks about Bill Ackman inviting Charlie Kirk to the Hamptons.
Go for it.
In the Hamptons, and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman. Because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset, and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went out to him today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, I have receipts I can show you. And he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say.
Okay, so that's that part. Now, Bill Ackman replies back, okay? If you go to Bill's tweet, Rob, Bill Ackman, $10 billion guy, he writes a long tweet.
My
Bro. I don't know if it's going to be tough to read it this way. If you can just go to a tweet because it's a long tweet. I'll give you the gist of it, what he says. He says he talked to Charlie. Charlie said, I can get some Charlie Kirk Juniors out, about 100 million followers, influencers. Let's, no problem. Let's have a meeting. So they come down, they have the meeting, and he's just showing all the text messages back and forth. But there's a long message, Rob, that there's there. And then eventually they come to the Hamptons. I'm willing to address any questions, anything that people want to talk about. And then while they're there, I actually want to read this, Rob, if you can find it.
It might be one of the longest I've ever. I read the whole thing.
But Bill always posts long tweets.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Bill doesn't post. Rob, just go to his account and keep going down, buddy. You were almost there. Yeah, just keep going down, and we'll get to keep going down. This is 2 days ago, so you got to keep going. Keep going faster, because you're at 24 hours, 19 hours. So Bill Ackman, $10 billion response.
There it is.
Right there. Okay, thank you. This afternoon, Candace Owens is staging an intervention with Charlie Kirk. Threats were made with respect to his opposed evolving stance on Israel at an event I hosted at Hamptons. Candace also intimated that I blackmailed Charlie. On the show, Candace said that she'll be very happy for me to dispute this narrative. While it pains me to drive more traffic to her program, I'm responding here to clear my name. It saddens me that we're here. For the record, at no time have I ever threatened Charlie Kirk, Turning Point US, or anyone else associated with them. I've never blackmailed anyone, let alone Charlie Kirk. I've never offered Charlie or Turning Point any money in an attempt to influence Charlie's opinion on anything. In fact, my interactions with Charlie have been extremely cordial, albeit limited, regretfully so, as I was very impressed by him and his work, and I will sadly never see him again. In an effort to clear the record, I should have followed him. I followed Charlie Kirk on X for some time and greatly admired him. While I didn't agree with him on every issue, I had enormous respect for his intelligence, knowledge, clips. I connected with Charlie when he DM'd me in late May of this year and expressed interest in meeting me. In light of our prospective schedules, we were unable to find a time to meet in person, so we scheduled a Zoom on June 11th. On the Zoom, he explained to me that conservatives, in particular young conservatives, were getting tired of defending Israel, and this was very concerning to him. I asked him how I could learn more, and he suggested that it might be useful to convene a group of young conservatives influencers on a host of topics that could include Israel to a better sense of how conservative community was thinking about Israel. On the Zoom, Charlie said that this his open mic conversations on campus were very effective in addressing issues on the minds of the students, but he was only one person with limited bandwidth. He suggested that recruiting a group of junior Charlie Kirks, we could open mic sessions on college campuses. Boom. I expressed interest in learning more and thereafter scheduled a series of conference calls with Charlie, Turning Point USA staff, and members of the team, in addition to getting better sense of what were young conservatives going through. Charlie thought doing so might enable him to identify potential candidates who could launch their own campus tours and carry forth his approach to dialogue. We chose the afternoon of August 4th to the afternoon of August 5th for the convening. Charlie and members of my team worked to put together an invitation list. I offered to host the sessions in Bridgehampton and cover the cause so that I could attend some of the sessions, so I was working from there at the time. Charlie sent out the invitations and about 35 influencers accepted it. Charlie estimated that the influencers who attended with relatively 100 million followers. Charlie and Turning Point USA put together the agenda for the meeting, and the topics were economic future of America, the cultural landscape of dating and marriage, conservative Eastern Mamdani, the new threat to America. Charlie asked me to moderate economic topics. Thereafter, I hosted Q&A sessions. The convergence of East and West included a discussion on immigration, values, systems, the pro-U.S. approach and foreign policy in Israel. While I had wanted to attend the convergence panel, I had a board meeting that conflicted this. Those that attended the session said that the Israel discussion was similar to other sessions that they attended, explaining various points. Some participants were critical of Israel and some were supportive. The sessions were punctuated by meals. I attended one group lunch and a group dinner where I sat with Charlie and others. I found the sessions I attended interesting. I really enjoyed the meeting. It gave me considerable perspective on what is on my mind of young Americans, what is on the mind of young Americans. At the end of the event, I sat with Charlie and members of my team, and we discussed the event's convening. Charlie believed that he had identified a number of potential Turning Point ambassadors who could launch open mic events on campus. We corresponded by text thereafter over a few weeks on a range of topics, but not including Israel, and the next thing I knew, he was gone. In short, this was not an intervention to blackmail Charlie Kirk into adopting certain views on Israel. It was nothing of the sort. Eric, your thoughts on this?
Look, Ackman, first person. Candace, I heard from someone. I'm going to go with Ackman. That seems like a very detailed description of what happened, and very likely description. I mean, what Ackman pointed out there was why Charlie was so important. A billionaire, a multi-billionaire who has an issue with the growing anti-Semitism on college campuses. He knew where to go. You go to Turning Point because they have the access to the young minds on campuses, not what they're getting from the liberal professors. So Ackman goes to Charlie. Ackman saw the benefit, the value in Turning Point and Charlie's reach. Everything that Ackman points out sounds like something that a wealthy person with an agenda would do when trying to access Charlie's reach. Let's have a meeting. Let's talk about how we do this. Charlie says, well, maybe not me, but maybe we can get a handful of influencers with a big following, and we can do it that way, thereby not necessarily joining forces, TPUSA, politically with Ackman, but doing it as an assist, so to speak, a mailing or whatever. It kind of puts a little bit of a prophylactic barrier between Charlie Kirk and TPUSA and whatever Ackman is choosing to do. But Charlie, to his credit, listened and heard what Ackman was pushing. I don't hear anything that's a threat. I've never heard of Ackman threatening Charlie Kirk before Candace came up with it, so I'm not really sure where it came from. We should probably hear the actual first-person response to that.
Vinny, thoughts?
Towards the end of Charlie's career, his life, God rest his soul, was he getting a little bit more critical on Bibi and the actions of what he was doing? Yes. Was he on Megyn Kelly and had he was pissed because he's like, people are calling me anti-Semite. I'm one of the biggest Israel support. He was not happy. Yes. Did this meeting happen in the Hamptons with Charlie and yes. But what the people on our side that are saying Israel was behind it, please, and you guys all know I'm critical as hell of some of the actions that Israel does. Break it down to me what happened. So are they saying that Israel, this is where it gets freaking insane, Israel went to Tyler and had him shoot and kill Charlie, have the boyfriend, like, give me the scenario where Israel did it. Give me your opinion, lay it all out. Just give me some facts, because now it's getting to the point where it's like Israel. It's like you're losing the argument in that sense, because give it to me. Because can we just be honest? What the people that are saying that Israel pissed off, Bibi was mad and all that stuff. So how did they do it? Explain to me. How did they convince a 22-year-old white boy who's dating a freaking furry to go on a roof and shoot this guy? What? Because they're like, yeah, we'll take care of your family. Give me an explanation. Does anybody have? I'm being dead serious. I don't know how. What'd you do? Brainwash him to go? Yeah, I'll go kill this guy. I'm completely lost in that sense. Because if that's what you're saying, if you're saying, hey, he was really pissed at the end, Bibi and them were mad, so they had him killed. Show me the plan. Lay it out, because I'm all ears.
Well, here's what Dave Smith had to say. I think, Adam, you send this clip in the group. Rob, if you want to play this clip on what Dave had to say.
But I see him out there and I've seen a bunch of other people doing this, but it's just like, if you want to go look through it, I mean, it's just crazy. But like, he had this post about how Israel did this. Israel just
He's
murdered
talking about
Charlie
Ian
Kirk.
Carroll, I believe.
And you know me, I don't know.
Co-hosts Candace's show sometimes.
Biggest fan of Israel, but I literally just replied and I went, what evidence do we
Exactly.
have that Israel was involved
Exactly.
with this
Show
at
it to
all?
me.
And I mean, man, if you want to be disturbed, like go look through the replies to that. It is unbelievable how people put together theory. You know, they're like, what evidence do you have? By the way, the answer is none. We have absolutely no evidence. There is absolutely no reason to even suspect that is the case, let alone to determine that it's a fact. And all the things people are posing, it's just like, guys, Jesus Christ, man, I'm sorry. I just don't go for sloppy, kooky theories. Like, if you got some evidence, bring it to me, and I'll be the first one to look into it. But then people going like, he was waking up to Israel. Like, dude, he said release the Epstein files, and he, he once on an interview said like, the pro-Israel people are getting a little too crazy when they're accusing even me of being anti-Israel, but that's about it. And like, to his credit, he defended like having me at the thing and having Tucker and Megan there and stuff. But like, you've just got no real theory here, and it just makes no sense at all. Like, telling me the government of Israel took out their number one guy who still had influence amongst young people. I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
And by the way, while this is going on, Dave Smith sounds very reasonable on what he's saying, right? Again, reason versus emotion. But if you look at this one, this is AF Post. They said, according to multiple reports, Israel Prime Minister offered Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, $150 million in cash to adopt an even more pro-Israel stance. Kirk refused the money. If you go a little bit lower, look at the amount of views this thing got. 7.2 million views, 160,000 likes.
Who's the
And then
AF
there's another post, Rob, if you can pull up the other one that says, right below it, that says, the journalist behind the report accusing Bibi of offering $150 million is Max Blumenthal, a man who used to work for the Iran-backed newspaper Al Akhbar in Beirut and contributed to Al Jazeera. Why is it every time we track down a lie, we end up finding people connected to Qatar or Iran behind it? So this is why you're hearing both sides of the story. Adam, what do you want to say about this story?
Well, look, when Dave Smith is calling you out for being anti-Israel, you probably have a problem, Candace, Ian Carroll, because that Dave, who we've known for a while, has made his name over the last year criticizing Israel. In fact, at Turning Point USA, when Charlie was hosting the debate between Dave Smith and the other gentleman, he asked him point blank, is Israel an ally of the United States? Dave Smith said no. So that's where Dave Smith is, who happens to be Jewish. But here's a couple different thoughts here. Candace is a shock jock, and she is such a good one, man. She is such a good one. So were Candace and Charlie friends? Yeah, they were. I challenge anybody, please help me out here. Show me one picture, one podcast, one evidence that they've even been in the same room in the last 2 years. The last thing I found, the last time they did anything was on October 3rd, 2023. Ironically, a couple days before October 7th. Show me any evidence that they've been in touch, they've been in dialogue, they've done anything together. I would love to see it. So they were friends. I don't think they are friends. I think that Candace is capitalizing on Charlie's death. I think she feels horrible. She doesn't feel good about this. But Candace is an opportunist. And if we know anything about Candace, over the last couple of years, has she been biased, non-biased towards Israel? In my mind, she's been blind with rage. So, there's people that you cut out of your life. Yeah, we're not, like how many people that you used to drink with, you're like, dude, I can't hang out with you anymore.
The majority of the people, because that's all we had. All we had in common was drinking.
But you still had friends.
Of course, I still have friends.
We kept Adam, though.
But
I did.
Yeah,
thank
go
you.
ahead.
Go ahead.
But you kept. Thank you for that, Pat.
Yeah.
You still love them. You still care about them.
1,000%.
You just don't hang out with them
We
at
just have
all.
nothing in common right now.
Bingo.
I'm a
That's
different
Candace
person.
and Charlie.
Well, that was early though, right?
They have
right. So they started
10 years
USA,
ago, 5 years
they
ago.
Were a team.
They were
They
friends.
were a force.
Show me evidence that they're still friends. Hold on, Eric. Hold on. If you want evidence, actual receipts, actual, not opinions, not I feel, actual receipts, well, Bill Ackman brought receipts. But what about Andrew Colvett? Andrew Colvett, who we all know, is the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk show. Look at his post on X. To sum that up, he basically said, yeah, Candace is lying. He basically said, Bill Ackman.
When did he say that?
Look at his tweets right now. They said Bill and Charlie were cordial, they're friendly, there was no conflict. Yeah. We were in the room the entire time.
Did he say that?
Yeah, straight up. Fact checked me on this. So at some point, we're going to have to acknowledge something about Candace.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Can you read this? I've been asked by Bill Ackman even more times. I'm surprised. I'm traveling with Charlie Kirk to find out what's the truth. But his team was with him 100% of the time when he wasn't in hotel room. Here's what they told me. Bill never yelled at Charlie, never pressed him on Bibi, never gave him a list of Charlie's offenses against Israel. There was concern raised about having Tucker at SAS. What is that? SAS. What is
Student
that?
Action
Student
Summit.
Action Summit.
We
It's
don't
like
live
the
downtown. And Charlie's
TPSA,
reply
yeah.
was, honestly, people telling me not to have Tucker makes me want to have Tucker, and I'm going to lock him in for AmFest 2. Charlie personally told me he had a very cordial relationship with Bill, and the event was productive. Those are the facts.
Okay. So that's subtly saying, Candace, you have no idea what you're talking about. Can we agree upon that? So at what point are we going to say, well, maybe Candace just is completely unbiased here? So there's justified criticism of Israel. Sure. There's
Biased or unbiased?
Biased.
You meant to say biased. here.
You're saying she's biased towards Israel.
or against Israel.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Is that fair to
then
say?
you're being biased.
Yes. Okay. So there's justified criticism. There's unjustified criticism. There's lies and deception. And then there's just outright hate. I would ask you, what category is Candace in regarding Israel? I don't know if she outright hates Israel, outright hates Jews. I'm not there. But is her criticism completely justified? Is it completely unbiased? Or is she using lies and deception here? Last point here. You offered Tucker $100 million to join Valuetainment. True or false?
Yes.
Did you post it on Twitter at the time?
We posted. We went to his place. We sent the guy to his place to make the offer.
So there was a
paper.
formal offer and a
Yes.
formal contract.
Documented.
If someone's going to offer Charlie Kirk $150 million, don't you think there's going to be a public statement, a contract, a tweet? Is it just, yo, buddy, you want $150 million? Come on our team. To me, it's nonsensical unless you show receipts. Candace, to her credit, showed a lot of receipts with Macron's wife's penis, whatever that is. She did an entire documentary. In my opinion, she took a year out of her life, and I'm not joking, to find his penis. I don't know where that is right now. But at what point is Candace going to say, you know what? I actually don't have any receipts whatsoever. I'm just stoking the flame and making a name for myself with my former friend's death, because I see zero evidence that they're even still friends. And now you have the executive producer of Charlie Kirk's podcast, Andrew Colvett, basically saying, yeah, Candace is not telling the truth. Point blank.
Eric, you were going to say something.
Well, I was just going to say, I was going to agree with you, Adam, that early on, 2011, 2012, 2013, they were tight. They grew TPUSA like crazy. I was shocked to see her leave until being part of TPUSA, her theories got just a little bit too down the rabbit holes. It was too extreme for their taste. And Charlie, to his credit, kept a cordial friendship with her for years, but it hasn't been a communication pipeline back and forth between the two for many years. That's why I don't know why we give Candace Owens' assessment any weight at all.
Because
all she's doing
we're
is
reasonable. There's a lot of people.
But
she did a
people
tweet.
are.
There's 10 million people, 10 million views who trust Candace. At what point are we going to say Candace gives opinions? Is the FBI? Is the CIA? Is anyone in the intelligence saying we have credible evidence to find that Israel is at play here? Zero. This is Candace spouting on the internet.
Right.
And at one point are people going to be like, we just can't trust what she's saying. Last thing about Candace, and I look, every time I've hung out with Candace, I've enjoyed my time with Candace. I think she's cool. I think she's fun. I think she's gone down a deep, dark rabbit hole the last couple of years. That's my opinion. Her entire career, you can almost assess that it's Jews or very pro-Israel people that have put her on. And she slapped them all in the face. Dennis Prager, Dave Rubin, Charlie Kirk to an extent, Ben Shapiro on Daily Wire. They all gave her a platform. And then she just spits in all their face. And now none of them want anything to do with them. It's very reminiscent in a weird way of the U.S.-China relation. Who opened up the China's role in the world, in the World Trade Organization? Wasn't it Richard Nixon? Didn't Bill Clinton open up a trade organization with China? And now China is our biggest competitor, and they basically spew anti-American rhetoric and try to tear down American hegemony around the world. At some point, you would say this. We've said this in the podcast. Have a little respect for what America's done for you. But now China has no respect for America. They want to tear down America. That is very symbolic of what Candace is doing to Israel and the Jewish community.
Vinny.
I mean, I'm happy that you said it. And I think we said this once before. She doesn't hate Jewish people. She clearly doesn't like Bibi Netanyahu and what Israel does government-wise. I wouldn't ever put a blanket over it. But, and you guys know me. But in this situation, we have the guy. We have the suspect. We have his boyfriend. We have text messages. We have a video jumping off the roof. There's evidence. There's DNA. There's everything. So is the FBI lying to us? Like there has to be a line. And I thank you for the podcast because my brain was going here. But you have to be able to come here and go, okay, this is happening here. This is how my feelings are right here. They have the guy. So unless people are saying, because let's strip it all down. If Israel's behind it, how did they do it? Show me, please. Give me the proof and I'll go, oh my God.
No, you don't, Vinny.
No, I want proof.
You're being way too logical.
No.
You don't need proof.
No, I have to have proof.
Just speculate on the internet.
No.
And throw out a bomb.
No, because, like for instance, the 150 million, I want to see. Show me.
But the point is, there's none.
Well, that's why I have a hard time. That's why I have a hard time.
At some point, her credibility, is going to go down the tubes because she needs to bring receipts. Bill Ackman brought receipts. How long was that tweet?
It's still going. I think
he was there in the room.
Reading it.
Andrew Colbert was there in the room. You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh,
2016.
wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay.
But
so let's
you don't
without
even
even being
Adam.
Is Candace even involved in Charlie Kirk's life at all?
No question, proof that Candace Owens has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to the TPUSA throne, but she's not.
And now she's not even invited.
Correct. So this is
So
their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited, meaning
She's not even there.
Yeah, she's not.
She's
She's
not
not
there.
one of the names
Wait,
that.
you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No.
That's
I mean,
not the funeral.
The heir to
Oh,
the
okay.
TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean, Erica.
That's a reason
Erica
for that.
Kirk. I mean,
What is Erica Kirk's relationship with Candace at this point?
Is
there a relationship?
I don't think so.
Why do you think? Why do you not think so?
Because I live in this world.
Okay.
I live in.
You
this.
know
I
this
mean,
world. Tell us.
I don't see them together. I think Candace has created a lane for herself. That's it's her own lane. She wants to go after Macron's husband or wife or whatever you want to call him. She wants. I agree that I think it's cheap that she is sparking this up like she knows something between something happened between Ackman and Charlie. For what reason?
Here's what I would say. To me,
money?
To me, I think when I look at talent, I look at reason, then I look at if it's improving the situation in America or making it worse. Talent. You have dinner with Candace, you're with her, capable, great communicator. You put the camera on, she shines. Camera's on, she shines very well. And we've had her on with us at the Derby. We've spent time with her. She's been to our house multiple times. We've had dinner. Super capable person that we've had these conversations together with. Spent time with her husband, smart guy, good guy. They have a very good story together. You go to the other side on positions taking, okay? When you take the positions that you've taken on what you're saying. All right, is it for business purposes? It's obviously working. Her live stream was massive yesterday, bigger than anybody else's that took place. We had a live stream that we did on election night. We hit 282, 283. I don't know what the number was. Google told us it was the biggest
million, I thought.
concurrent. She hit 266 yesterday by herself. Listen, the numbers are the numbers. But it doesn't mean it's the right message. Hit 'em Up, a rap song blew up. Does it mean it's a good song for everybody? Who listened to it? I'm trying to really see if you want to get eyeballs, go write a song called F the Police. Oh my God, look at the song. Look how great it did. Okay, yeah. Are you solving for eyeballs? Or are you solving to be a sinner just to bring America to get at a time like this? I don't know. And by the way, I'd love to see the profile of people that are watching all of it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I do know she was, she has you don't need to read between the lines to see how many times she takes shots at Ben Shapiro. I get it. I see it. Okay, you guys had a falling out at where you were at. And then it brings me to the last thing, which is by far the most important thing. You know what the most important thing to me is? It's the following. How does Erica feel about it? I don't know. By the way, if Candace and Erica are speaking every day, and she's saying, oh, thank you so much, Candace, for doing it. Please keep talking about it. Then awesome. I'm with it. Keep doing it. But if Erica is sitting there saying, dude, can you just stop for 1 week and make this about my husband's funeral that's coming up this Sunday? Just take a 1 week break. If Erica is supportive of everything Candace is doing, guess what? Awesome. Respect. And I don't know that. Maybe Erica and Candace are best of friends. By the way, full what's the word?
Full disclosure.
Full disclosure. I've never had a text phone call with Erica before. Only time I've said hi to Erica is when Charlie was there. And we've never spoken. So I've never had a conversation with her. She's always been very respectful, very sweet, and obviously her number one priority is God and her husband every single time. So if Candace and Erica are speaking, and Candace is saying, Erica's saying, Candace, thank you so much for defending my husband. Thank you so much for doing this. You're so amazing. Candace, double down. But I don't know. If this was me and you're jumping on the numbers and all this stuff while this is taking place, and my wife is like, Vinny, can you not make this about you? Adam, can you stop? Can I have this moment with my husband? Can we not already start with all this stuff? Can we? Can we just pump the brakes a little bit? This is too much. You're not making my life any better right now. I'm trying to put an event together with 65,000 people in a place, and everybody who's coming in, their biggest fear is what? How is this place protected? How? Trump's going to be there. J.D. Vance is going to be there. Junior's going to be speaking. Tucker's going to be speaking. Miller's going to be speaking. Hexet's going to be speaking. RFK's going to be speaking. Tulsi's going to be speaking. His wife's going to be speaking. She's trying to overcome that while trying to continue getting the organization going and all the rumors. Who's going to run it? Who's going to replace Charlie? Who's going to do this? Do you know how much pressure is on her and her team? So to me, take all the talent and the relationship out. What it comes down to is, Candace, if this is improving the current emotional state Erica's at, keep at it. If it's not, take a few days off and start next Tuesday or Monday. Just let it be about Charlie. Let's not put it on anybody else right now that they're increasing the temperature. And I understand, the one thing with Candace is going to do what Candace is going to do.
That's true.
She's not one that's going to be, it's Candace. Candace is going to do what Candace is going to do, and that's the double-edged sword. But that is the way I process this issue here. I process it purely from the lens of Erica and the family. Simple. That's how I process this. Eric, I think you wanted to say something.
Well, a couple of thoughts in there. You were earlier talking about let's give it a rest. Let's not capitalize on it. You have this mug here that says words talk, numbers scream. Her numbers are screaming. It's probably overruling her better judgment to wait a little while. There's There's a great movie, a Denzel Washington movie, Spike Lee movie out right now. It's on streaming on, I think, Apple TV. It's called Highest to Lowest. And one of the subplots is A$AP Rocky is a rapper, a young rapper, and he gets caught doing some really bad stuff. And the final scene is Denzel Washington, who finally gets him to, he catches him doing bad stuff. And his point was this rapper is like, I'm going to let you, Denzel Washington, sign me. Denzel Washington's a music executive. Let you sign me. And Denzel Washington, he's in jail. Why am I going to do this? You're going to be huge because you're going to sign the biggest rapper in the history. Yeah, but you're going to be gone for 25 years. Yeah, but you know how big I'm going to be from prison? That's the mentality. The mentality right now is let's get clicks, let's get followers, let's get social media, digital footprints, bigger reach. I don't matter. And it's kind of a metaphor for what's going on with people. I will also note that you said this, Trump's going to talk, JD, et cetera, Junior. There's another speaker here, and this may be a little controversial, but Suzanne Scott is one of the speakers. She's listed on that list. Sergio Gore and then Suzanne.
Fox
She ran
News,
Fox, yeah.
She runs Fox News. Charlie was banned from Fox News for a long time. He was not allowed on that network for several years. Now,
Why is that?
they felt he was too extreme. If you look,
They felt that Charlie was.
well, that is the common wisdom. I spent 11 years at Fox, and I will tell you, early on when Trump was first elected in 2016, Charlie Kirk was one of the young guys who helped Trump the first time. He started to grow, and then he was not on Fox for probably 5 to 6 years. And people were just, the speculation was, Murdochs never have been very pro-MAGA. They just haven't. But so it's almost a little hypocritical that Suzanne's going to be one of the people speaking because they kept him off Fox for many years up until recently when they brought him back on. I do notice Charlie had a big ad campaign on Fox. You see him on some of the breaks. It may still be running. So he started to spend a lot of money at Fox, and then they brought him in to fill in on one of the weekend shows, Fox
Sunday,
and Friends.
yeah, that's right.
Where the little girl comes running
That's
to him
right.
out
That's
of
right.
the
That's
heartbreak.
right.
So
Yeah.
they've made amends.
But they made amends. But it was recent, Adam. It was within the last 6 months. Look back before that. It was years where he didn't appear on Fox. Not Hannity, not Laura Ingraham, nowhere. I just find all of a sudden he's welcome. And wall-to-wall coverage for the past week on Fox of Charlie. And it's like, you got to do it, I guess. But here's another example of not staying true to what you have been. They didn't even acknowledge that either.
Let me affirm what I think Pat was saying is that Erica, nobody, you always say, who's the last person in your ear? Who's the last person you speak to? Well, if you're married, it's usually your wife. Nobody knows you more than your wife or your spouse, your significant other. That's what I think you're saying with Erica, respectfully. So yes, what we also know is that we have something that you talk about being a part of the inner circle. So who was Charlie's inner circle? Well, one of them was definitely Andrew, right? He was executive producer. So I think he has, beyond the wife, the next most credibility here. So he just basically said that Candace was lying in so many words. Number two, is Candace speaking? If they were such good friends, why isn't she speaking? I don't know. I don't know if she's going to be there. I don't know. But there's nothing indicating that they're still friends. And I think Pat is absolutely right. By the way, they're doing sort of like this, group effort to host the Charlie Kirk show. Did they pick Candace to host the show yesterday? No, but they picked the Daily Wire crew. They picked Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh, and the gang, Michael Knowles. The proof is right in front of our face. So I don't know. There's right there. They didn't pick Candace. My opinion. This is my opinion. Is that Candace was friends with Charlie, not is friends with Charlie. And there's clearly, from 2023, a divide. You were part of our crew. You are no longer part of our crew. That's my opinion. Can I show one clip of Candace? This is her words of how I think Candace handles situations. I've never said that Candace is stupid. I've never said she's crazy. I've always given her credit. But I would not want to mess with this woman. Do you have that clip about don't you dare? Watch this. This is Candace in a nutshell.
To those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill in Charlie Kirk's chair, in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay? And I want you guys to understand, this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that, I'm seeing the messages, I am telling you to back off right now. Like right now, don't do it, okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair, okay? Over my dead body, which I'm sure can be arranged.
Okay.
Well, what do you think? What do you think she's saying?
Do you think she's talking to Shapiro?
I don't know if she's talking to Nick Fuentes. I don't know if she's talking to Ben Shapiro. I don't know.
I mean, if you had to guess,
I don't know.
she's
We
not
don't know.
I don't think it's Nick Fuentes.
I would say Ben
I don't know.
Shapiro.
yeah, I
Maybe-
would say Ben Shapiro.
Okay. But she seems venomous and angry and passionate.
When was that?
That was 2 days ago.
And so they put Shapiro in the seat yesterday after J.D. Vance the first day.
Yeah, but no, Ben Shapiro, who, by the way, they just pledged, Daily Wire pledged, I think, $1 million to Charlie. How much did Candace give?
I know
How much did Candace give?
No, we're agreeing.
How much did Candace
I
give?
know why Ben Shapiro wants it. It would be he needs it. He's done well, but he needs the Turning Point USA. He needs the money now. He needs the access. So I see why he did. But I don't know who she was talking. She had to be talking to Ben Shapiro.
If I had to guess.
I don't know.
Because I don't think she's talking to TP USA management, who the people who are
No.
going to decide who take.
No.
She was making threats at people who think
She
they're
is.
heir to the throne
Yeah.
of Charlie Kirk. Meanwhile, she didn't say she was either.
By
though.
the way,
I would assume that
By
you're-
the way,
What?
if she is talking about Ben Shapiro, and I have no clue, my gut was Nick Fuentes because he's trying to take the mantle
No,
for
wait.
America First. Hold
a
on,
lunatic. He's a
No way.
lunatic.
hear me out.
He's got zero
You,
shot.
you think if she had text messages with Ben Shapiro after everything they've been through, they wouldn't have been released already? You think she's holding back? You think Candace is the type of person the last 2 years that has held back? You think she's got a trump card that she's ready to expose Ben Shapiro?
but-
she's used all her bullets, so to speak.
But it's
I'm
not
trying
Nick.
to see what you're saying. What's your
Yeah.
point here? Like,
I'm
tell
saying,
me what your
I'm
point
saying
is.
she is angry and venomous
Okay,
right now.
yeah.
And that is not a person that you want to mess with. She's capable and she's filled with rage. That's all I'm saying. Do you think on the power versus force chart?
Yeah.
I'd love to see where Pat thinks about this. Rob, if you could pull that up. Power versus force. Please show me where you think Candace is operating out
Vinny,
of
where do you
right
think she's
now.
at?
Show the
On
chart.
power versus force, where do you think she's at?
Let me see the chart.
We just did this at the vault.
If I had to, where?
Go to the
you
third
punch in,
row
Rob?
level, right there.
Okay.
Can you punch in, Rob?
She's angry. She's in anger.
So she's at 150.
Yeah. She's
So-
angry, which a lot of people are.
So she's below the
Yeah,
what do you call it?
which
The
is not a bad
neutrality
thing.
line?
That's just guess what? I've fluctuated all over this damn thing. But I think Adam, because what she's talking about, if it is Ben Shapiro.
You think that's not a bad thing?
No, I didn't say it's a good or a bad thing. I just said where
You
she's
said
at.
it's
I
not
think
a
if-
bad thing. You think?
I'm saying
so.
if-
You
I
think
think if
at
you're-
a time like this, it's good to be there?
I do.
Tell me why.
I think we need to be there.
Tell me why.
Because the left will tell you, let's go back to unity. Let's tone things down. Yeah, sure. Because you didn't just have one of your biggest, most influential human beings on your side assassinated in cold blood. It's not time to take the tone down.
fully disagree with you, my friend Eric.
I'm not suggesting violence. I'm not suggesting violence at all. But I'm saying stay pissed off, stay angry. I had a tragic loss in my life. I lost a child in college. You do go through stages of grief, confusion, sadness. For this, I announced it at 4:13 p.m. last Wednesday. Charlie Kirk had died from the gunshot from the assassin. I went immediately to anger. There are people crying on the set. You guys have the clip somewhere. People are started to cry on the set, and I just went right to I'm fucking pissed off. This is enough. We're not going to sit down and not take. And I don't mean hurt people. I mean use your voice. Charlie was killed because he used words. We need to say, I am Charlie Kirk. I'm going to use my voice to let the world know what I believe. And no, I'm not going to tone it down left. It's not time. I'm not ready to pass that stage of grief.
Well,
Benny, go back to what
if you
were
could show
saying.
that chart.
Yeah.
Oh, so what I'm saying is like anger. Like Pat, think about it. If God forbid one of us was taken out, I would go right to anger. I'd be furious right now. And again, Adam, I don't know the relationship. I don't know how close. I mean, they were close back in the day, but right now, you don't know if they texted the day of or days before or any of that. But in regard to what you're saying about what she's talking about, I would assume it would be Ben Shapiro, because what did Ben Shapiro say a couple of days after the assassination? I'm going to pick up the bloody mic and I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
So you could,
that means on his own show.
No, he's going to go on compensatory. No, I understand what I'm saying. She's saying her thing is nobody's going to come and take it because she knows that they're coming on that set. That's what she's saying. I don't think it's that. But I think, Pat, I think she's angry right now. Adam, where do you think she's at?
She's filled with rage. And listen, there's a
what?
business model to use people's emotions and anger and monetize that. That to me, that's exactly what she's doing. But we talk about power versus force. My question is, okay, the one person was the right to be angry in every emotion. One person, that's his wife. But what are his inner circle acting? Andrew, who we know very well, is being very reasonable right now. And he's hosting shows. He's making plans. He's calling out lies. He's acting with reason and with love for Charlie. Candace is acting with absolute anger and desire for eyeballs and for clout. So to me, who's closer at this point? Just answer this one question. The executive producer, Andrew, who's with him every day, or Candace, who was friends with him 5-10 years ago.
Obviously the executive producer.
So that's where I go with
I think
this.
even the better one to go to is not even the executive producer, it's the wife. Where's the wife at?
Of course.
Show me where the wife's at.
The wife?
Yeah, where's the wife at?
To be honest, she's probably all over the map, man.
Courage.
When she gave the 17, 18-minute speech
She
last
was
week, where
angry.
was she at?
She was angry.
No, she was courage.
Courage
His
as well.
wife wasn't angry. She was nice. She was
wa-
poised.
she said-
God was with her,
She
bro.
said that line where she said, "The tears of this widow will echo like a battle cry." That's anger. But she also showed immense courage and willingness to speak out on Charlie's behalf. Where do you think she is, Pat?
I think it's love. I think it's love. I think it's up there. I saw love, and I saw a mother who is going to, she set an example for a lot of people. You saw what Anna Experience is more angry than Erica's. That's why she gave Erica the kind of credit that she did. I don't know. I think.
Where do you think Candace is?
I think Candace isn't above. I think Candace is on the bottom of it, not at the top of it. I think Candace is at the, if Candace wanted to, she says that, and I'm not going to, kings are not born. So is Candace going to go on the road? Is she going to do that? Maybe. All right. I'd be curious to know who shows up if Candace goes on universities. I would actually like to see her go to universities, obviously with protection. I want her because she's got a family, she's got kids, she's got a beautiful family. I'd like to see her go and see who shows up and who defends her. I actually would like to see, if she did go to school, what types of people would roll up to defend her. Mm-hmm. I would love that. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Of course.
So go and see who shows up. Is it going to be peaceful people showing up? Maybe. Is it going to be chaotic? Maybe. I don't know. You will very quickly, look, when you go to the Vault conference and we had nearly 8,000 people in the room last week, you don't know who's going to be in the room. And then you look around, you're like, husband and wives, kids, families, Palestinian guy who's a Muslim says, I disagree with you because of what you say about Islam, but I love you, Patrick. And you're just looking at everybody. You're like, all right, so that's our audience.
Yeah.
Sometimes put an event and let's see who your audience is. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see who the audience is. Maybe the audience is the Turning Point USA audience. Maybe the audience is young conservatives. Maybe it is. Maybe the audience is that. But I'd like to see if she's saying that, is Candace going to be going and doing what Charlie did? I don't think she will. Neither do I think she needs to, because I think she's got kids.
Yeah.
I actually don't think it's a good idea to do it as a mother. I think it's better for her to stay home and take care of the young kids. She's got very young kids, and I wouldn't want to put her. I wouldn't want her to put herself in a risk situation. But look. Let me tell you. Last night I'm reading this about crows and eagles. You ever heard this story of crows and eagles? Let me read it to you. The only bird that dares to attack an eagle is a crow. But the eagle never fights back. Here's why. The crow is the only bird bold enough to sit on the eagle's back and peck at its neck. Pa, 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 pa. Relentless and annoying. But the eagle stays calm. The eagle doesn't flap, doesn't fight, doesn't waste energy. It does one thing. It rises. The higher the eagle soars, the thinner the air becomes. The crow, it can't handle that altitude. Eventually, the crow gasps, loses strength, and falls off. Not because the eagle attacked, but because the eagle ascended. Wow. Let the crows talk. Let them peck. You don't have to respond. Just keep going higher. They can't follow you forever. Your growth will suffocate their noise. So don't engage, elevate.
Wow.
I don't know. I think whatever we're going through right now with the temperature that we have, we're going to be around for a while, God willing, if he wants us here. I think by 2035, we'll know. I'm being serious with you. I think by 2035, we'll know.
A decade?
Oh, I think it's going to take a decade.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a decade to see what's going to happen. 10 years ago, when you went and looked at a lot of guys that everybody's like, who's the real business people on YouTube? Who's the real business people on YouTube? Oh, it's this guy. Oh, it's that guy. Oh, that's Mike. Oh, my God, it's that guy. 90% of them are not around 10 years later. And you're like, dude, I thought that guy was going to be this. I thought this guy was going to be this. And let's go 10 more years. Okay, everybody talked trash about Trump in what year? 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s? Where is he at right now? Two-term president, #1 show 15 years, multi-billionaire, and raised good kids. What do you have to say about that now? But it took 79 years. Sometimes you just got to wait. There's going to be a lot of noise for a long time to come. And I wish nothing but the best for everybody in this space. I only encourage people to know the role they're playing and see what's best for America. Of course, everybody, when the founding fathers created America, they had a problem with two things. How do you manage the nasty side of ambitious side that every human being has? And this is stemmed from passion. And how do you decipher between the people that know how to reason? So they created the whole thing, which was like, well, we went from monarchy. I tell you what to do, you better listen to democracy. Everybody tells you what to do, to a republic. Now we have representatives who speak on my behalf. And if I don't like them, I'll fire them and have another person in the next election. So I can't be controlled by the majority. Because if this was a democracy, holy shit, you're too rich, Elon. $450 billion, now you're only worth $220 million. Why is that? That's a democracy. Republicans like, no, dude, I can be whoever I want. But the battle that they had long term, which they worried all the Madisons and the John Jays and the, and the Hamiltons and Washingtons, their battle was, how are we going to manage the natural, individual, selfish ambitions and passions that people have versus the people that are willing to make reasonable decisions that's best for the country long term? How do you manage that? It's been a problem 2,000 years ago. It was a problem 1,000 years ago. It's a problem today. It's going to be a problem 1,000 years from now. But sometimes you can't really see everyone's motives for a minute. And you just have to stick around and see what happens. Eric.
I said I jumped to anger immediately, and I stay there, and I still believe we need on the right to stay angry about this. And there's a fallout. There's a reason for this. Like the midterm elections are coming up. And again, if you think this is cheap, using Charlie's death, I disagree. I say use Charlie's legacy, carry that into 2026. Let people know that the left is a party of violence, the party of hate, party of stifling speech that they don't agree with, the party of crime, the party of all the things that Trump has tried to change in America, and use Charlie's death to stay angry and keep remembering and reminding the folks out there who are the independents in the middle going, not sure where I'm going to go, not sure if I love Trump, I'm not sure what I want to do, but I certainly don't want the party that condones and almost supports what we saw on September 10th. That's not my party of choice. I think you were mentioning that earlier in the show. So that's why I'd say, not violently, with your words, stay angry, folks. Stay angry. I am Charlie Kirk. That should be everyone right now.
On Monday, I told you guys, any USA merch you buy, 100% of the proceeds, not proceeds, not the profit, not the gross profits. Whatever you buy, 100% will go to Turning Point USA. And within 24 hours, We sold $100,000 worth. So we're announcing today that we're sending $100,000 to Turning Point USA. We sent it to them yesterday. It was wired over to them yesterday. It should hit again either yesterday or today, but we're continuing again today. So anybody who didn't participate, just so you know, that $100,000 went because of you. You guys chose to do this, so respect to all of you. But we're doing it again, and we even added a couple new shirts there just in the memory of Charlie. This is one that says live free with the American flag. And if you zoom in on the American flag, you'll see Future Looks Bright on it right there. And then there's a ton of other items. Team USA, if you love America, if you love Charlie, if you want to find a way to collectively contribute to Turning Point USA, 100% of whatever you purchase here today, any one of these items you purchase on the USA collection, 100% of it will go to Turning Point USA, and we'll give that update again on what that looks like between now and Friday. So to everybody that did that, salute to you. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.